Okay, hello. So it has been about 24 hours since I watched the finale. I didn't get to watch it on Saturday. I was on a trip while this came out, and um, I was seeing spoilers throughout Saturday, many of which were published by the official Doctor Who YouTube and social media channels. And I thought that's really really rude and kind of like disgusting for social media beta and engagement, like to post spoilers for your own episode within the first 12 hours of the episode releasing is insane to me. But they did just that, and I was getting these spoilers, some of which I saw through official channels and other of which I saw just on social media in general. I'm like, what I'm not understanding how these spoilers could be real. Like I'm watching, I'm like, I'm caught up. I've seen everything up until this point, and yet I'm not understanding how possibly it could get to that point. And all's to say, let's talk about the episode itself. It was an absolute mess. There was a lot I did enjoy from it, I would say. But it was, you know, like I felt good after watching it, albeit very confused. But the more I think about it, the more I simmer around it, and I think about a lot of the decisions and the way the episode was handled, it really doesn't sit too well with me, I would say. Very weird run. Like, very weird. Shudigawa's run is very weird. And a lot of odd decisions from Russell that don't really make much sense. And it's just so weird that this is coming from the person who made the best era of the show. It's just a weird contrast. Um, and I will say there's a lot I did enjoy about the story, but it definitely needed to be 3 episodes, and definitely needed. It felt like Russell has this unchecked power when helming Doctor Who at this point, and it reminded me quite a lot of George Lucas's unchecked power when making the prequels. It definitely felt that energy where there's no one reining him in anymore. There's no and telling him, "Hey, you can't do you gotta clean this up." Like this is a mess. You gotta fix this up before we can release it. And especially he seems to be hyper fixated on the MCU. He seems to be like, I have to make Doctor Who the MCU. And we felt this with both finales. Both finale two-parters felt very much MCU inspired, especially Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death especially. But this one as well felt like that, like with the ensemble cast that it tried to do and all these like entrances for these characters. It felt so MCU without understanding. They don't really work anymore in the MCU, but without understanding why it worked in the MCU. And it's not like, and I think the thing that it's like Doctor Who is not the MCU. I don't like it's a completely different style of franchise and storytelling, and yeah. So I'll get into the episode now. There's going to be heavy spoilers throughout this, so if you're watching at this point, you haven't watched the episode, and you don't want spoilers, because I haven't gotten spoilers yet, which is seems pretty impossible at this point. Please steer away from this video, I would say for now. But and come back when you've watched the episode. But yeah, it's it's really like the narrative, like I really don't understand the narrative, and I think so. What was this baby it was used to create the Wish World, but what was it? It was one of the Pantheon, but why was it I didn't really understand the whole baby thing, but it was used to make Conrad's Wish World. But why did Poppy linger so long, become such a fixation for the episode? You would think she just disappears after the Wish World. Was it because she was in the stasis pod and it took longer for her to lapse? That might be it. And what actually happened toward the end of the episode, with the, sort of, how do I word this? Belinda's character. It really felt like they were like sort of like developing her throughout the season, and they just made her brainwash this whole episode, like, and they didn't change that. They were just like, Belinda's brainwashed this episode, and we're gonna keep the brainwashing even after the whole Wish World is dissolved. And now it's like it retcons her entire motivation from the season, because the Doctor, I'll get into the whole cameo thing, but the Doctor works with the 15th Doctor works with the 13th Doctor to shift the use the TARDIS to shift reality. What does he use, his like regeneration ability? Like, I don't know. He shifts reality to make it so that Poppy was Belinda's child all along, and that was her real goal for going back. And it retcons everything, and it's like, wait, like this feels icky. It feels weird. Like, it feels like you made her, like, completely fixated on a child that doesn't actually exist, and reshaped her whole agency and character motivation around this child. It felt weird and gross. I felt very uncomfortable by the ending. And I know a lot of it was that, 15 was in denial about a lot of things, and his behavior was really poor, but, like, he treats Ruby terribly in this episode, and like doesn't make amends with her. Like, the epilogue of the episode is him and Belinda. Like, it's not, he doesn't go to even see Ruby before he regenerates, which is very surprising to me, especially after how he treated her. It just feels so weird and out of character for the dog. There was a lot in this episode that was out of character. One of my friends, Alberto, if you watched the vlog, but he hasn't watched in a long time. I think he like fell off somewhere during the Capaldi era, and he was watching the episode with me, and he was like, the Doctor is acting incredibly violent, which he doesn't do, and he did that in the last episode too. And he had the flashes of Susan, which I'll get to, because that was not addressed at all. And there's no like seemingly consequence. Everyone just like, you're amazing, Doctor. Like, there's no real punishment for his weird and poor behavior throughout this season. It was odd. It left me in like a weird like space. And so yeah, I will get into the threads now that they failed to address. There were a lot of plot threads running in the season, and they were all seemed to be culminating around this. But they weren't, resolved. So I'll say it first. Susan, one of the Susans, Susan Foreman, his Doctor's granddaughter, she was not, she was hinted at heavily throughout the first season of Ncuti's run in dialogue, and in this season he had physical flashes of her. This was not addressed at all in this episode. I assume it is a thread for an intended season 3 if it ever comes, kind of like how Miss Blood was trickled in through season 1, even though she wasn't the primary thread for season 1. It seems like he's mystery boxing earlier and earlier now. So I think Susan might be a thread for season 3, but she was never addressed. And then the other Susan Triad, I thought I saw her in the Wish World, and I was like, okay, she's here, but she's gonna be gone when the Wish World dissolves. But she's around, and she is the same person she was before. And maybe I'm not remembering something from Empire of Death, but I thought she was purely a creation by Sutekh. Like, I thought that she, like, once she fulfilled her purpose, she was gone. She didn't exist anymore. So I was very confused by that. So then Poppy herself, like, why is this baby from Space Babies? Like, Space Babies was a Millie episode. It was a Ruby Sunday episode. It wasn't a Belinda episode. And I had to remind myself that a few times. Like, why is this baby from an episode that Belinda's character didn't experience? The core fixation of Belinda in this episode. And also, why is it her? Like, why is it not just a random baby? Like, what is the significance of it being Poppy? It makes no sense, and it ties me into the other thing is, like, Poppy's name seemed to be prevalent around this season, especially, like, during the pre-Interstellar Song Contest and things like that. And I thought it was a thread that they were going to lead to, but it didn't really amount to anything. And I also wonder if it's a mystery box for season 3, and Russell is just mystery boxing as earlier and earlier. And tying into that, Villengard. Villengard has been built up throughout these 2 seasons as some sort of major antagonist force. I thought they were. My speculation was that they were going to be tied to the Rani, and it would be some sort of like organization that was like incepted and founded by the Rani, and it ended up not having any mention, I think, in these 2-part episodes. And it would have been like interesting if Villengard was started by oh my god, why am I blanking out his name? You know, the douchebag, the guy who's Wishworld. Oh my god, why am I blanking out his name? Lucky Day guy. Totally blanking out his name. That could have been, that was another theory, that he was like the founding mind behind Villengard or something, but they weren't addressed in this story. Ruby's interesting, unique abilities continue to be a mystery here. How she's able to remember many threads from the Wish world and everything like that. But also, it seems like the rules of how the Wish world like went after it was dissolved was interesting, because they remembered a lot of the things, but they didn't remember, like, I didn't understand what was really going on with that thread. But here's the thing: Ruby like had these abilities that were retconned out in season 1, and she has them here. Some sort of unique ability to remember things from the Wish world that were forgotten by all others. And I love Ruby as a character, and she's like just keeps like getting disrespected and thrown around left and right, and I just want to see her get like, you know, the respect and the care she deserves. You know, she's just treated like shit constantly, and I just feel so bad for her, and I love her character, and I just like she just gets thrown around like constantly. But yeah, like here, like she has an important ability, and it's never explained, never addressed, and he doesn't even say goodbye to her. Like I don't know. It didn't, you know. And Rogue himself, I hated Rogue. I didn't hate the episode. I thought it was just very rushed. And you know, we see the flashback with Anita going back in time and seeing Rogue, but like, would he, like, I thought for sure that when Omega would come out, like Omega, like he would like slip out too, because they're sat in the same location. And why wouldn't the Doctor use that time to go get Rogue if he knew he was, like, it didn't make really, they didn't like follow through with that. That is another thing. Omega, like, I watched the episode of Omega. I mean, Omega's a guy, right? Like, Omega's a Time Lord. He's a guy. Like the demon world warped him into a giant evil monster. Whoa, like this hell world. Like what? Like, and what I thought they were going to do here, and what I thought the episode was building up to, is that everything in since 13's generation into David Tennant was going to be some sort of wish world fallacy thing, where like even 13 was talking about cause and effect have like shifted in order, and it's like, oh, like maybe the wish world stuff caused this stuff trickling back, and this was all these past 2 seasons and the 50th specials were all, you know, kind of like a wish world of the Doctor, of 13 regenerating into whoever her next iteration would be, and that all this kind of stuff was actually not actually happening. And I thought, like, I was thinking that would resolve all these plot holes and all these crazy weird threads that have been like trickling through, and unresolved threads, and all these weirdness that's been going on, and like characters not being treated right, and things were popping in that shouldn't be there. And I thought that would explain so much, and I really thought that's what they were going for. Especially when 13 showed up and was like running around working on the TARDIS with him. Like wait, like I think this is what they're doing. I think this is what they're going to be going for. And I was like, that would be really, really interesting. And I was like, let Russell cook, let's see. And no, they didn't really go for that. Unless I'm misunderstanding what happened, they didn't go for that. They went that he just worked with 13 to shift the timeline. So it could be there, and everything did actually happen the way it happened. I don't get it. And there was another thing, like with this is just a nitpick, but like the Time Lords being sterile. I don't think this was addressed before, right? This was never, and like he has a biological. Susan is his biological granddaughter. So I think from what I gather from the monologue that they were like, this sterility happened was like a symptom of the Time War, or something that happened in the Time War, and that would make a lot of sense. But as to why like you know these remaining Time Lords, the Doctor, the Master, and the Rani, weren't able to reproduce. You know, that would make sense. And why, like, so yeah, I don't really understand that part, but like I guess I don't know. Conrad's the guy. I just remember his name. Yeah, I, I don't know. I feel a little like gross about this episode. There was stuff I did like in it, and it was very fun. I loved the set design in this. It reminded me. It had such Spy Kids energy, and it was just so fun. I don't know. I just really enjoyed that. And Shudi's performance is just he's an incredible actor. He is so fucking good at the Doctor. And we'll get into the ending right now, I guess. The implication is that Shudi is regenerating into Billy Piper. A lot of people have been speculating and theorizing that it's because he merged his regeneration energy into the TARDIS console, probably went down to the heart of TARDIS and like zapped up the remaining Bad Wolf energy that was in there. Could be. I wonder if this is a misdirect and that we're going to have like an opening scene of whatever the Christmas special may be that's going to like shift that and be like, oh, he was just fluctuating in that for a second and now he's a different actor or actress, that could very well be. I don't know. I will say that Rose Tyler is my favorite Doctor Who character. I have an incredibly strong connection to her. I have a huge soft spot for her. I think Billie Piper is an incredible actress. I think it is insane to make her the like what does this mean? Like what it like I don't have any faith in Russell to make this explanation work. And even if we're getting an explanation, because I think there's a chance that this could be canceled, right? This new push could be canceled by Disney because like viewership was very low from what I've heard this season, and like it's so messy and it's been like branded. I hate this whole branding mission where it's like it's been branded as like a new revival reboot of the show. Like when you watch the ninth, like there were callbacks to Classic Who, but like when you watch the Ninth Doctor on, it was a new show. You didn't have to watch Classic Who. There were nice little Easter eggs and callbacks. There's so much in this season 1 and 2, quote unquote, that like absolutely requires viewing of at least the modern iteration of the show and a lot of Classic Who even to make sense. Like Omega isn't explained well enough in these for you to not have to watch the Omega episodes to understand it, and like, and the Ronnie, like I don't understand her motivations at all. It really doesn't, like, she's trying to revive the Time Lords by bringing back Omega. Like I didn't really understand the motivation plot. And that could just be because I watched the episode one time and it's something I didn't think of, but like it just feels so messy, and I wonder, like, part of me wants to say, oh, it needed 3 episodes, it needed to be like a Utopia Sound of Drums Last of the Time Lords thing where 3 episodes tell the story instead of like, I mean, unless you kind of count Interstellar Song Contest as that, because Interstellar Song felt very similar to Utopia. I don't know. Part of me wants to say it needed 3 episodes. I don't know if that would have salvaged it. It was such a mess, and it seems like Russell has definitely lost his ability to stick landings. He's overkilling the mystery boxing that his era was like so famous for. Like the Saxon mystery boxing in season 3, the Bad Wolf mystery boxing in season 1, the like the disappearing planets mystery boxing in season 4. Like he was so fucking good at mystery boxing, and now he like he can't do it anymore. He can't stick the landing, and his like I don't understand his like logic. Like I don't understand his train of thought that like brings him to these conclusions in the story. Like what is his brain trying to cook up? Like I don't understand his messaging and what he's trying to say with these stories. And like I thought he was cooking. I was like, when I saw 13 show up, I'm like, okay, like he's really cooking here, and this is going to be like, everything since the start of his era is going to be like not actually having happened and being like a condition of the wish world, and that it's going to actually start the era proper within the Christmas special the next season, and like we're getting the real next Doctor. As much as I love Shooty, I thought that's what the story was going, but it didn't seem to do that. I really don't even know what to say. like I did think it was commendable and clever that they didn't advertise the regeneration beforehand and announce a new doctor beforehand. I think this is the first time in the modern era this has happened where that didn't come out in the news beforehand. Where I only, but they did, they kind of canceled their fucking shit out when they posted spoilers on their official social channels within the first like few hours of the episode being out. Like I think that's really disgusting engagement baiting behavior. Like I think that's like really low level shit. Like spoiling your own show for clickbait. Like pretty fucking nasty if you ask me. But like overall there was stuff I loved in this episode. Like the set design, the feeling of like, oh, this is a big ensemble cast, like seeing all these characters come back. Even though there were like sequences where like the Ronnie shows up at Unit HQ and she's like just explaining her plans and like everyone's just standing around. It was really funny. It was like I every time it would like I watched with Alberto and Zach, like every time I would cut back and just show like 20 people just standing there, it was, yeah, we would laugh. Like it was really funny. But this was a mess, and as much as I did love most of this season, I feel like Belinda was very much a wasted character that kind of got like really like written like very weirdly, where it's like she like they were trying to develop her and then they gave her like, you need to be mother. Like it felt really weird, and like Ruby got so abused and shafted in the season so much. Like from what she went through in 73 Yards, what she went through in Empire of Death, what she went through in Lucky Day, what she went through in this finale two-parter, and then to be treated like that by the Doctor. I thought for sure the Doctor was gonna get what like comeuppance or what was coming to him, and no, there was never punishment. There was never punishment for his behavior. I don't know. I don't know. This was a weird one, and it leaves me feeling a little icky, I would say. Yeah. It's different than Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death, where I was like, okay, this is just a bad finale two-parter story. Sure, I was upset with how they handled Ruby's, arc and like foreshadowing, but this felt different. This felt like there were decisions in this episode that felt actively, you know what? It's fucking funny that I'm saying this. This felt more like the feeling, that weird gut feeling I had after watching the whole Timeless Child finale three-parter thing. This is more comparable to that than watching. I was gonna say it's very similar to like Legend of Ruby Sunday and Empire of Death, but I feel more similar after watching this one to the whole Timeless Child finale thing. They're very similar in that they showcase a severe misunderstanding of the show and the characters, which is insane coming from Russell T Davies. Like, some would say the founder of the modern iteration of the show, the one that set the rule book. I think he's become, and this is all like conjecture. Russell T Davies is an amazing, like, seems like he's a really good person. It seems like he like did so much good with his like early run in the show, and like he like he doesn't seem like, from what I've heard, he doesn't seem like he's malintended. It just seems like he's like lost, like he doesn't understand like what he did. He forgot what he did in the first place, and he's so fixated on social media and the MCU and like the social media uproar that the MCU caused, and trying to capture that with his franchise. It feels very weird. And I feel like there's a lot of unchecked power with Russell right now. And, I also think Disney might have a hand in this, and being like, the Disney mandates being like, hey, bring back legacy characters. Hey, do this. Hey, do that. Like, I'm sure Disney mandated the branding. I don't think Russell mandated that, because, like, I think Russell would have been perfectly content, like, continuing his show instead of rebooting it again. Yeah, I think this is cancelable. in this non like not in the cancel culture sense, but in the sense that like I think Disney could say, okay, we're pulling the plug on this, and the show will go into like indefinite hiatus for a long time. I could see this being like what happened with 90s with in the 90s with Classic Who. I could see this happening now with the modern iteration of the show. Even though this was like a weird like third iteration of the show kind of attempt, I don't know. I don't know. I could see this happening again, and I would be disappointed by that. But I'm also excited to dive into a lot of the supplements. Really, I've been collecting a lot of the novels. I want to get into Big Finish, so there's a lot of Doctor Who stories that I like want to dive into, that I haven't yet. So it's not like even if the show goes away, it's not like the end of the world. And overall, I love Doctor Who. Like Doctor Who is one of my favorite like properties, franchises, stories in existence. I love it to death. It'll be a part of my life forever, But I do feel gross after watching this episode. I will say. Oh wow, I've been recording a while. I think that's all my points across. Maybe I'll make another video talking about more if more ideas pop up. But yeah, this was a mess. And there were things I loved here, but I feel like it didn't. It was just I don't know what's going on with Russell. That's what I'll say. So I'm interested to see if there's a lot that comes out about like the writing process and the making of this season that's like not so flattering. I'm very curious. But I think that wraps it up for this one. So yeah, thanks for watching / listening. Bye bye.